And now call to order the Norton City Council regular council meeting for Monday, February 24th, 2020. Would you please stand for Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent prayer?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Mr. Gaynor?
Here.
Mr. McClone?
Here.
Mr. Carent?
Here.
Mr. Towsley?
Here.
Ms. Whipke?
Here.
Mr. Pelot?
Here.
Mr. Kernan?
He's excused this evening. Start off with communications from the public. Remind you that you have 5 minutes, and if you would give your name and address to the stenographer. Phyllis Osborne.
Hi, my name's Phyllis Osborne. I live at 5718 Kangol Road. My street is actually on Kangol down by the bridge. So my question today is, what news do we have or the latest updates on the bridge on Kangol?
You can ask questions. I mean, this is communication from the public, so I mean,
Right.
typically you just ask questions, and then
Okay.
if you make sure that somebody has your phone number's on here, somebody would be happy to get back to you and kind of.
Well, it can be, the question can be for anybody on the council. I'm not too sure even who's in charge of the Kangol Road Bridge that's
It's
out.
a mixture between Franklin County, or Franklin Township, Norton, and Summit County.
Why does New Franklin keep saying that they're not involved with it?
The whole thing tends to be whether or not it was truly a bridge based on length, and then right there's the border. So, and obviously it's a through passage fare for people that live in Franklin. So
Yeah, we're just.
they have to be involved.
What, is there any time frame or anything for it? It's only been 8 months, that's why I'm asking.
I really don't know. I know that they've been in negotiations trying to see who's supposed to be fiscally responsible for it. So, or financially responsible for it is really the biggest thing.
And also, when you're trying to get funding, grants or whatever for that, it's not like they just pass it out.
Oh, I'm sure.
It takes time to get those, and I don't think that time has come up yet. My understanding.
Okay, thank you.
And is it John? Second person that signed up?
Jason Sarajan. I'm not a member of council, and I did not, or a member of Norton. I didn't think that I have the ability to address council tonight.
If you would give your full name and your address to the stenographer.
Not in Norton. Jason Sarajan from Medina. Do you want the, so it's 5929 Upland Ridge Drive, Medina, Ohio. The zip over there is 44256.
That's good.
All I simply wanted to do is just make a comment because I didn't come prepared for anything. But obviously, this is Ronald Messner's last, I think, council. And so I just wanted to say publicly congratulations to him. I know he likes all you guys. So thanks for affirming for me that he had a real job. And that means a lot to me. And he's had a lot of nice things to say about you guys. So appreciate that. So congratulations, Ron.
Maybe this time you got to keep him retired, though.
Yeah, right. Feel free to call him if anything comes up.
Just in case you weren't aware, it's my son-in-law.
I figured it was a relative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have plans that'll keep you away from him a lot now?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
I know that's what my son-in-law would wish.
Right. Yeah.
He'd want to make certain he had plans to stay away from me.
Right. Well, thank you for occupying his time.
Thank you, Jason. Robin, I'm not even going to try the last name here.
Good evening. My name is Robin Akey. I live at 1215 Center Road in New Franklin. And I'm here just addressing some concerns that I have regarding the Kangol Road Bridge that has been out since, I believe it was June 16th last year when it was closed. Holding up a copy of a memorandum that I found on your website, which was dated on the website as of September 12th, 2019. Had a couple questions off that. It talks about a memorandum of understanding between the county, the city of New Franklin, and the city of Norton, and it indicates that city of Norton would be the lead agency in trying to apply for two different grants that it lists here. One is the OPC, which I believe is the Ohio Public Works Commission emergency funding, as well as the State of Ohio capital budget earmark. And I was just wondering, as of to the status of when those applications were filed, who at the state you've been talking to so that we could encourage them to get things in gear as much as possible. Primary concern that I have is we're getting into the rainy season over the next few months, March, April, May, and it is my understanding the bridge had its issues because of a heavy rain and maybe some other structural things. But it's a concern that even more erosion could occur over these next periods of time, which could cause this, instead of it being I don't want to say a small issue, but that's what I'm going to use, to becoming a very large issue. And I believe my third concern, question, comment, is regarding the barricades that are up there now. There's some wooden barricades, and then there's some concrete barricades. I'm not sure exactly who set those up, but can additional barricades be set up? My concern is that kids are going to be coming outside more, and there's nothing preventing them from stepping on that edge that is open, and someone could easily fall in. Is there something that could be worked out to deter activity on the opening on both sides? Because you have a child or an adult fall in, and with possible erosion, you don't know when that could happen. So I would greatly appreciate if you could speak on this matter, and I would also greatly appreciate if you can light a fire under the process to get this resolved. It's coming up on a year now, in a few more months, and it would just be a great reaching the hand out across the cities and the residents to resolve this issue as speedily as possible. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Communications Committee of the Whole, reports from standing committees. Does anyone have anything?
Yes, I do. I have a resolution of appreciation for Ron tonight, and I'd like to put it on tonight's agenda and waive the second and third readings.
A second.
Motion and second to add a resolution of appreciation for Ron. Any further discussion about putting it on the agenda tonight? Roll call, please.
Mr. McClone?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. Gaynor?
Yes.
Mr. Carratt?
Yes.
Mr. Towsley?
Yes.
Mr. Pelot?
Yes. I'm sorry, did somebody have their hand up? I thought I saw a hand there. Okay. Anyone else from any committees? All right. Consideration of the minutes. Any corrections, additions, or alterations to the minutes of the regular council meeting of February 18th, 2020? Hearing none, those will be accepted as submitted. Reports from officers, boards, and commissions, starting with the mayor.
Thank you, Council Vice President. I would just like to announce that last week, myself, Mr. Fowler, and Mr. Hess attended a program at the middle school. It was a program that was called Tom Todd, and it was a Tomorrow's Ideas from Today's Middle Schoolers. And it was a presentation that was put on by a group of individual students there. And after the presentation, we have invited them to come to City Council and put on the presentation for you all as well. Actually, first of all, this was we're the first school district in Summit County to bring this program forward, but it deals with mental health, and it also will deal with our Columbia Woods Park and our trail program that we're working on down in the park. So our hope is that on next Monday, March 2nd, they will come and put on a presentation for you guys, and at that point, hopefully, will lead to some discussion afterwards. So just want to share that with you at this time.
Thank you. Carrie, if you would make a note of that and just kind of follow up. And are they going to schedule that through you, or?
Well, I've already talked to Carrie, so.
Perfect.
I've already sent an email to the president of council.
Yeah, and he's aware of it as well at this time.
Mr. Fowler?
I have nothing.
Mr. Messner?
I have nothing at this time, but I'll reserve a judgment.
All right, moving on. We have no public hearings tonight. Introduction of new legislation, Resolution 29, 2020.
Thank you,
Mr.
Scott.
McClone?
Thank you, Scott. I offer resolution number 29, 2020 for its first reading. Ask clerk to read it, please.
A resolution of appreciation for the service of Ronald Messner as Director of Finance of the City of Norton, Ohio.
I move to suspend the second and third readings
I'll second.
for resolution 29, 2020.
We have a motion second to waive the second and third readings on Resolution 29, 2020. Any further discussion on waiving the readings? Roll call, please.
Mr. McClone?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. Gaynor?
Yes.
Mr. Carratt?
Yes.
Mr. Towsley?
Yes.
Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
And before I give the final vote for this, I'd like the mayor to take the floor.
Well, go ahead and do the adoption, and then I'll take
Okay.
it. We'll do
I
that.
move to adopt resolution 29, 2020.
I'll second.
Motion second to adopt Resolution 2920.
Mr. McClone?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. Gaynor?
Yes.
Mr. Carratt?
Yes.
Mr. Towsley?
Yes.
Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
Now, Mayor, you can have the floor.
Thank you very much. At this time, I would like just to read into minutes the resolution that has been prepared for Mr. Messner. It's a resolution of appreciation for the service of Ronald Messner as Director of Finance of the City of Norton. Whereas Ronald Messner has served as the Finance Director of the city since July 24th, 2014, and will retire on February 28th, 2020. Whereas in his time with the city, Mr. Messner has been acknowledged by the Government Finance Officers Association in awarding the Comprehensive Annual Finance Report with prestigious award of the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, and has been instrumental in the preparation of the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. Whereas under Mr. Messner's direction, the city was acknowledged by the Ohio Auditor of State with the award of distinction for excellence in financial reporting for the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report in each year of his service. And whereas Mr. Messner has helped the City of Norton achieve and maintain its AA bond rating with Fitch Rating Services, thereby reducing the city's borrowing cost and increasing its access to the bond market. And whereas Mr. Messner has led his office with sound accounting principles and focused on the accuracy and reliability of financial reporting, including instilling a strong belief in transparency with financial reporting. And whereas Mr. Messner implemented the Ohio Treasurer of State's online checkbook system for the city, thereby increasing transparency and providing taxpayers access to the city's expenditures. And whereas Mr. Messner was integral in reviewing activities of the city and implementing cost control measures, directed the the implementation of new procedures to strengthen internal controls, and implemented the cross-training of employees to allow functions of the city to operate more effectively. And whereas Mr. Messner directed the operations of the city information technology, and whereas Mr. Messner will be remembered for dedication, accuracy, creativity, and reliability in all matters on behalf of the city of Norton and its citizens. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Norton, Summit, and Wayne Counties and the State of Ohio that I, Mike Zeta, Mayor of the City of Norton, and this Council do hereby acknowledge, honor, and commend Ronald Messner for his dedicated public service to the community in his role as Director of Finance of the city. All formal actions of this Council related to this resolution and all deliberations of the Council and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. This resolution will take effect and be enforced at the earliest period allowed by law. Thank you, Mr. Messner. Appreciate your time with the city.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Messner, I just wanted to say thank you for all that you did for the city, for council. You were always there to answer questions, no matter how weird they may have seemed or whatever you want to call it. But thank you for taking the time out to make sure that people understood fully what was going on with the people's money. And the online checkbook, that was a great thing there, allowing the people to be able to see right there exactly where the money was going. It was a pleasure.
And Ron, I enjoyed working with you the last 5.5 years, and I always remember you as simplifying the budget and making it very much more understandable than we have in the past. It was really, I remember those years where we used to take weeks to get through that, and you made it so much easier for us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd like to add, if I can, Mr.
Yes.
Messner. It's been an honor to serve with you, probably more than you know. One thing that I don't know the general public really realizes is that I believe every Norton cleanup day you were there. And you took us on as your community, and that's important. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you putting up with me and all my questions over all the years, and I wish you the best in your future.
Thank you.
I would like to commend Mr. Messner on his service to this city as a finance chair, and even before that, I've worked with him closely. He was always there. He's gone above and beyond to answer and help me understand any of my financial questions that I had for him, even though there's been a couple moments there I've given him nothing but grief. But he always took the time, and he answered everyone. He gave me anything I asked for, made it all easier. He's behaved in a most professional and courteous manner, even when and after confronted by those who did not offer him the same courtesy. I witnessed in these very chambers attempts to bully and threaten him. And people come to the podium and blatantly state mistruths against him. Yet he still served those very people professionally and courteously after the fact. I know personally where he's taken the time and made phone calls to various entities to aid our residents with different issues that they've had, then relayed the options and results to those citizens. I'm glad you're getting to retire. I'll be sorry to see you go. And I want to thank you for all the times I asked you to help a citizen and you came through. Good luck and enjoy it.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Catch lots of fish for me.
Ron, I'd like to add to the chorus. Coming in a couple years ago, I had no idea what the city budget really was like. It's certainly sort of like running a business, a lot different than my little business, a lot more numbers and a lot more accounts. And trying to understand that, coming from one type of business to another, you helped me weave through the maze and connect the dots. And I appreciate all the time. You always made yourself available. Thank you.
I also, Ron, would like to say that I enjoyed working with you for the short time, 2 years that I was here. You've taught me as much as I know, but that's not very much. So you didn't have to take too much time to teach me. I've heard it said. I've heard it said if you have 15 minutes, tell me all you know. So you've done that already, and I've appreciated it. So I wish you the greatest in retirement. It's a really good thing. I've been here a while, retired, so I love it. I'm sure you will too.
Ron, you won't know what to do on Monday nights.
I can always tune in and watch you.
Yeah, your family might have something to say about that.
I would just be remiss if I didn't take a moment and first of all thank Mayor Zita for seeing something in me back those 5.5 years ago. As I approached this job, I did not have the full qualifications as the new director that you are getting, that had a number of years as finance director and also as a state auditor. She's coming well prepared. As many of you know, the previous director decided that she didn't want to be here to work with me to help me get installed, as I've worked with the new director now for several days. So the first year I was a lot shorter than what I was because I blew my kneecap off a number of times by things I didn't know, and 2 months after the fact I'd get a call from somebody, either the county or somebody else, and say, "Are you going to send that report in?" And I'm like, "What report?" And they'd say, "The alternative tax budget. It was due back in January. It's now September." And I'm like, "Well, I just came in July. I'm brand new. I don't know anything about it." You know, I came through corporate accounting with Firestone for 20-some years. As controller of Malone University, that was phys app accounting. I knew nothing of GAAP accounting, but I sure learned a lot. Each year got better. I've enjoyed working with this council. I truly believe that we have one of the best councils that I've seen in my 5.5 years here. They work well together. They work with the administration. I told the mayor this when I told him I was going to retire. I believe the city of Norton is poised in a wonderful position to really take off. Mr. Fowler is working very hard. He doesn't always tell me everything he's doing. And once in a while, many times I get surprised at the last minute, but that's okay. He's doing great things for the city of Norton, and I really look for the city to really take off. So I will keep tabs in that. I only live 5 miles away, so, you know, I'll see the newspaper. I don't expect to see anything crazy, you know, like we had in the past. So it's been my joy to work with each one of you, and Charlotte, especially with you. You and I have worked finance, and no easy job. I've felt sorry for you different nights when you've had 12 and 13 resolutions or ordinances that you had to read through and go over. On the other side of that, I tried to give her the information on the front side so that she at least had a good working knowledge of what that was. But it's been my joy. I really feel, as I told the mayor, I really feel like I have been instrumental in bringing the city to a new level. I challenged the new director of finance to take it even higher. So thank you, council. I appreciate the friendship, and hopefully I'll run into you different times, and that we'll share that friendship down the road.
Thanks, Ron.
Well, I know you're leaving us in good hands with Miss Keener. You spoke highly of her during the interview process. So, and again, it's been an honor and pleasure.
Thank you.
I would also like just to announce for the community that we are having a community open house for Mr. Messner. It will be on Wednesday, February 26th. That would be this week from 1:30 to 3 o'clock here in council chambers. So all is invited to stop by and wish him well. So,
Anyone else? All right. Moving on, we will introduction of prior legislation, Ordinance 28, 2020. Mr. Towsley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer ordinance 28, 2020 for its second reading and ask the clerk to read it, please.
An ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of an amendment to the agreement establishing the Southwest Summit Council of Governments and declaring an emergency.
And this is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask what our timeline was on that.
It's going to, I believe, Barberton this evening, Copley later this week. So if we can pass it tonight, that would be great.
Again, just real quick, the sooner we pass it, the sooner the transition can start. We've agreed that, of course, we would prorate any billing, and that proration will not start till they're online. Our target has always been April 1st, and we do apologize. The administrator of the township has been out. They guys hired a new police chief, and his first task was getting this done. So we'd actually been waiting since September to have these discussions. So.
And my understanding with this legislation is we will save $50,000 this year and between 80 and 90 next year. Is that correct?
Yes.
So with that, I will make a motion to waive the third reading.
Second.
Motion and second to waive the third readings on Ordinance 28, 2020. Any further discussion on waiving the readings? Roll call, please.
Mr. Towsley?
Yes.
Mr. Carratt?
Yes.
Mr. Gaynor?
Yes.
Mr. McClone?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 28, 2020.
I'll second that.
Motion and second to adopt Ordinance 28, 2020. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Towsley?
Yes.
Mr. Carratt?
Yes.
Mr. Gaynor?
Yes.
Mr. McClone?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
And again, thank you.
Any public service announcements?
Yes, I have a few. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
We have 2019 CCA Taxpayers Assistant Program. There's CCA auditors will be available at the community center to assist residents in completing their 2019 city income taxes. There is no charge for this service for City of Norton residents. It's a couple of the dates will be Wednesday, March 4th from 1 to 7, Wednesday, March 18th from 1 to 7, Wednesday, April 1st from 1 to 7, and Monday, April 13th from 1 to 7. And once again, that is at the Community Center Ballroom. Cleanup Day, please save the date for April the 18th for Cleanup Day here in the city of Norton. It will begin around 8:30 a.m., stepping off shortly thereafter, but we'll start the day from 8:30, hoping to have things wrapped up around 1. We could use sponsors for that day and help with any cleanup. We would also have the chili cook-off for the fire department, Norton Safety Services, Saturday, March 14th from 12 until 3. Then later that evening, we have Scotch Doubles from the Women's Club. Norton Women's Club will host a Scotch Doubles at the Charger Lanes, and it will be from 7 to 10 p.m. It's $45 a couple, and you can email to Norton Women's Club 82@gmail.com to reserve a lane. So is what I'm being told. Also, the Parks Master Plan, excuse me, we have a meeting for the Parks Master Plan here in the city of Norton. It will be a scheduled at Finney's Sports Bar. There's a formal presentation at 6 o'clock from 6 to 6:30, and then there's public engagement activities from 6:30 to 7, and casual conversations will follow. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Did you give the date for that?
For what? The master plan?
Yeah.
The 10th?
March, what was that, March 12th? No, is it?
10th
I'll
is
find
a
out.
Tuesday.
I got it on my calendar. It's not in here.
It is the 10th.
March 10th? March 10th.
All right. Anyone else?
Yes, I do. And this is a reminder of the Ward 3 Town Hall meeting that's this Wednesday at the Norton Community Center from 7 until 9.
And Carrie, how much longer on the Easter baskets?
Until March 13th.
If you would, please drop off your donations here. Carrie has quite a collection over here, but obviously there's a gigantic need for assistance.
There is a big need. We've had a couple of city residents come in, and they're planning on filling baskets. We've also received a very nice, generous cash donation from an anonymous donor. And I'll be having lunch with the Tri-County clerks tomorrow, and they'll be bringing me baskets as well.
All right, if there's no other business before council, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Roll call?
Ms.
Aye.
Whipke?
No, I guess just say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.